So before, people in the West, we kind of think about meditation as something that you do to improve your health. But in these traditions, meditation is actually seen, having good health is a prerequisite to actually start meditating. So if you look at the Hindu tradition, before people meditate, they do cleansing techniques like kriyas. So you might have heard, people putting gauze in their throat and nose, all those sorts of things. They have yoga asana, so preparing the body. And then once you go through this rigorous preparation where you've kind of studied the texts and you've got your morals right, and you've, got a context of, in which to understand like these altered states, and you've prepared your body and your mind, then you sit down to meditate. Whereas in the West, we kind of do it the other way. We come to the practice like frazzled, exhausted, sick, tired, and expect that this is going to help. And in some cases it will. Like, that's not to, there's a wide spectrum, and obviously I'm looking at, the pointy end of adverse effects here. And for some people, meditation is really beneficial, but I think the way we're practicing it now is just very, very different from how it was originally practiced.
Mm-hmm. Even when I was reading the book, your section about preparation, I think it was Buddhist, where it starts with like, you live in accordance with a certain moral code first, so that you don't sort of embed your mind with content or regrets or things that would negatively impact your ability to meditate. Because of course the goal is religious enlightenment. It's not, like being able to like crush my email so that I can make that money. Or even the goal being like just to feel some like modicum amount of okayness in a completely crippled world that is crumbling before our very eyes, seemingly day by day at this point. So it's like, it's a different context. And even after that, then there was concentration. I think you had said like there's the moral sort of something, and then concentration before you even get into the practices, and the practices progress. So it's not just like straight into Vipassana. I think you talked about jhana meditations to lube you up before you go in. I even used the term dry insight and lube, and I was like, going in dry does not sound like a good idea.
That's so funny. That's from Chuladasa. Okay, I didn't make that up. But that's so true. So, these insights are supposed to be, earth shattering, and they're, I mean, the whole thing that's quite funny. Like, I just think it's like, when you look at the whole thing, it's like, okay, we're using meditation to change our normal model of reality. Like, of course things could go wrong, right? Like, we're trying to get into an altered state to see the world differently. And so, I mean, some of the key insights in these traditions, so things like, we don't have a solid separate sense of self. Reality is experiencing suffering. This world is an illusion that we should try to leave. We should, ultimately they're talking about, this world is suffering. We need to get off the wheel, and leave this world. Not like, oh, I'm suffering, I need to better myself so that I can be a better, a more resilient and like fit person in this crumbling world. So there's that. Going back to the preparation. So there's this idea that, so with mindfulness or Vipassana, these are practices that are aimed at gaining insight into the nature of reality. And there's this idea that, before you do that, part of the preparation is to do concentration practices, so that, I think the way Chuladasa was arguing it was, he was saying that, they kind of give you this lubricating factor, in the sense that you are able to access the jhanas, which are these pleasant altered states, and it's going to make these insights less extreme. Whereas if you just go straight into this dry insight practice, you can have these insights, but you've got no kind of buffering and no supportive context there.